What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Poker Lab podcast. Is this presented, Doug? Should we say this one's presented by Upswing Poker yet? Or
I think we can officially announce this is presented by Upswing Poker.
Presented by Upswing Poker, where if you go, I'm just gonna make up. I don't know. I don't like saying presented or sponsored. So I'm gonna say it's not really sponsored anyway, but it's presented by Upswing Poker, where you can go and learn to not be a fucking losing poker player. If you put in the work, that's the site to go to. We're here. We're live. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the live stream. We got Doug Polk, WCGRider, in the house today. What's up, Poppy? Welcome to the pod.
Thanks, man. I'm good. How you been? What's new?
I'm doing well, man. So if people see my face a little red, I just got done playing ball. That's why we're a little bit, we're supposed to be on at 3:30. I decided I probably should take a shower. I didn't want to come here looking like a slob for you guys out there.
And Joey, we appreciate the hours you put in the lab to make sure that you look good for the cast. You know, it's pretty valuable.
You know, it's a video podcast. I want people, if they're going to be looking at me, I want them to at least potentially, debatably enjoy what they see. But we're joined by Doug today. We're going to be discussing the new endeavor, upswingpoker.com. We're going to be discussing his recent heads-up PLO battles against the one and only Ansky and against Barry Sweet.
I've been playing a few guys. I played Ansky. I played No Dice Baby. But getting rocked so far,
I gotta tell him what we're expecting, kid. Hold on, I'm trying something new. Hold on, I'm doing this new thing where I don't lose track of things. What I'm talking about. All right,
is that a new thing?
It's a new thing. We're going to be discussing the alleged insider trading scandal with David Bazoff and the other side of Maya. We're going to be discussing the recent rate changes at Heads Up No Limit and if it will destroy the Heads Up poker economy because Doug
Cliffs, it will.
Doug is debatably one of the best Heads Up No Limit poker players in the world. I'm not sure if that's still the case or not.
Why is it always debatably? You never once just like let me have it, you know? Come on, let me have my thing.
All right, we're going to discuss how Doug has been doing as the #1 Heads Up No Limit poker player in the world for the past couple months, aka past yearish or so.
Yeah.
We will also be discussing some comments made by Luke Schwartz about an alleged 1v1 battleship style webcam heads up match that he played against Doug Polk, where Doug was wearing a pink vest.
Okay, that's also a good one. We got lots of good content here. This is good stuff.
We're gonna be discussing. That's it. Shout out to the view bots out there, guys. If any view bots are watching right now, welcome to the podcast. All right, let's get started, Doug. What's going on, man?
I'm good, dude. I got up to Vancouver like a few days ago. So it was actually funny. I told myself in January, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up to Vancouver late January, start grinding, putting a lot of work. And then like late January started coming, right? And I was like, all right, mid-February, I'm gonna get up to Vancouver, I'm gonna put in a lot of work. And then it just kind of kept going. Like it was like I never actually had to come up, you know? I was doing it to like be productive. So I like kept finding ways that I could just like put it off for another week. And then like finally after like about probably 2.5 months of just like, I don't know, I guess, you know, not doing my job, I decided to come up here and start working. So I'm up in Van. It's nice. I'm pretty happy to like be able to play a little bit online poker, and yeah, I'm pumped, man. What's new with you?
Oh man, it's been fun. It's been a fun year so far. You know, I have a girlfriend at the moment in time, and that's obviously, as you know, with my past relationships, that's always an adventure for sure.
It's always an adventure.
It's fun, you know. It's
for them.
It's fun for everybody, kid. Spent some time in LA. I'm on a very I guess I'm on a downswing now, but I'm on a very big upswing, and then you know, obviously, when you're playing high stakes PLO, or I guess high stakes PLO. Sometimes you lose, and unfortunately, then you're in a quick downswing. So, but yeah, I've been grinding a lot, playing a lot of poker, playing a lot of ball, working out a bit, rock climbing a bit, doing some pods. But yeah, man, let's talk about the new endeavor, man. So we're talking about Upswing Poker. So what is Upswing Poker? Who is this? I don't know. What is it?
Okay, so the three people behind Upswing Poker are me, Ryan Fee, and Matt Coletta. And we all kind of bring different things to the table here. When you look at creating any kind of training site, you can't just be a poker player, and you can't just be a digital marketer or like someone that understands.
Digital marketer? When the fuck did you learn that word?
I've learned some new words.
Christ, digital marketer? What the fuck is that?
You actually have to like combine some skill sets, you know? And I think that what we bring to the table is like, why are you laughing so hard here?
I know digital you remember when we talked on the phone a couple months ago? Weren't you saying words like digital marketer? That's for sure.
I mean, I've come a long way. I've been learning too, man. I've been learning too. But
buddy.
The cool thing is like within our business, and I think it's getting too bright again. Let me close some blinds. All right. So is that good?
That's good, man. You look good. You look good. Don't worry about it. You look good.
All right. So within like our business, like we all do different things, and we've got like a good breakdown. Like I'm like purely content promotion, like trying to get our company going, teach people like what we're trying to do, and then create a lot of like the stuff that when people go to our site, there's lots of articles and things that they can buy or like stuff they can read, whatever. And then fees is kind of like some business side, some content side. And then Matt is like, completely business and like making the site and like making things look good. And like, he's all like that side of things. So let me talk a little bit about what we're trying to do. We're trying to take a completely different approach to poker training than the industry standard, which is, and we talked about this before, which is kind of funny. It's like always the same thing, right? It's like, if I'm going to get some poker coaching, I want like a massive screen size picture of Phil Golf. I want to go to my site, right?
I want that. Yeah, that's what I want that. Yes. I have a picture of Phil Golf on, right? Of course, I want a Phil Golf on photo on my, of course.
But really, like all training sites have always been like the same thing. They've been come to our site and we've got like usually like 3 to 5 top-notch pros that everyone respects, and then we've got like 30 to 40 guys that are just kind of like fillers. I mean, they're probably good or they know what they're doing, but they're fillers. And like people come for the top you guys and they kind of go through all this content. But the thing is, like, the reason I really dislike that model is a lot of stuff will conflict with each other. Like one guy says one thing, one guy uses PO Solver, one guy thinks it's terrible, one guy like has a very opponent-based strategy, one guy has his own thing, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, well,
technically, I mean, listen, if we're going to be talking bad about other sites, if we're going to be talking negatively, I can counter that point you made right there. You might also, but I'm not going to, because sure. I'll let you do your thing. Sure, I could counter that point very easily. But go ahead,
sure,
go ahead, keep going, keep going.
I'm just trying to explain what our take on this is, and I'm not saying that like that model doesn't work. It does work. It's worked for forever. That's why it's there. And there are upsides too. So I'm not trying to be negative at all if it came across that way. But what our stance is, if we create the content where it's just Fees and I, we know that the information is going to be good and it's going to be consistent. And so we're not telling people one thing and then another person that might have a different strategy. It's a very direct learning process. And really what we're gearing this towards is newer players, smaller stakes players, people that want to like brush up on their fundamentals, people that want to understand just the way poker, way to strategize in poker. And we're really not trying to target as many of like the small to mid stake pros trying to become mid to high stakes pros. We're really trying to just like bring poker coaching to like a much wider audience of people to help promote the game of poker and help promote the strategic thinking that poker has. And that's really what we're trying to do. And we're trying to do that through a variety of ways. We're gonna be doing a lot of Twitch streaming. I'm actually gonna have my first stream today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right. And then like we're not totally sure what the end goal here is, but for the time being, we want to start bringing strategy towards those user groups in a way that's consistent and can really help people grow as poker players.
So basically, it's a training site, but also, I mean, there's a lot of written things. There's some strategy. There's some other, entertaining type of things being written. I think written content's going to be a focus of the site as well, too. Not just from a paid standpoint. You'll be able to go there for free and try things out, read things, and stuff like that as well. I think the subscription model isn't going to be the standard subscription model that's been used on most of the well-known training sites in the past. It's going to be a little bit different model as well. And then, and you mentioned streaming. Obviously, Ryan Fee has been streaming. Shout out to Ryan Fee, 2-time the Cage winner. He's won the Cage twice now on stream. And congratulations to him. He is now the best Nolan Hold'em player who's now streams on Twitch. And
he's got another couple hours of that.
Bang bang.
Bang bang.
So, but yeah, like it's not. So this isn't a site that's dedicated to the mid stakes guys, high stakes guys to get better. It's a site that's dedicated to the recreational players, the fun players, the losing poker players out there. Even people who are break even and convinced that they're winning, but they're actually not. They're losing. This is a site where they can go and get learn how to have a singular approach to the game.
Right. If you're like, okay, I'm really trying to make that jump from 2-4 into 3-6, this is not for you. You know, it really isn't. It's based for people playing much smaller, people trying to, you know, think about poker strategically. Now, we do have some things for those people that I think make it valuable. Like we have a user group on Facebook where people can come in and post questions if you're part of our membership, our lab.
Okay.
You can come in, you can ask us questions, and Fees and I have been fielding all those questions where we give our thoughts on hands and we talk about some general strategy stuff. So I think that, you know, for some people, they're like, oh, just from the fact that I got to ask you guys 3 questions to get responses, like that's worth the membership to me, which is a totally valid viewpoint. And also, I think even for those guys in that range, you know, you might think some of the stuff that I'm teaching is simple, but you know, like it's stuff that many people that even play high stakes get wrong when they think about, like when they take their approach to the game because they're so set in their ways. So I do think that we have, like, while it's not geared for those people, I do think that there is value there, but like, don't like, you know, and this is the thing, when you're trying to like go into this industry, you're going to get people that are just trying to do anything they can to improve their game. And I can, you know, I've been there and I can appreciate that. But like, you know, you can't come into our lab and then be like, wow, there's like nothing about how to like split like my range into 2 different things with 2 different bet sizes based on like some Nash equilibriums. You know, like that's not really where we're trying to go with this. We're trying to give coaching in a way that allows you a lot of flexibility in how you think, and will just make you have the right thought process to play poker. And that's just huge. So that's really, I guess, what we're trying to do here. And that's, you know, there's a little bit of something for everyone, I would say.
So why do something like this? I think for me personally, you know, training sites, you know, I've always been like, why the fuck would you want to make your opponents who play the same stakes as you? Why are you watching them let you play? Why are you telling them how you play, telling them things that are going to make them much better players and win in the games? I mean, I feel like, you know, Run It Once, certainly when it comes to PLO, certainly when Run It Once started putting out a lot of PLO content, you notice the games got much much harder because now, you know, they're teaching all these, you know, obviously the argument is made is that, well, 95% of people they're gonna see information and they're not really gonna be winning. But it's that 5% of people, that 3% of people who are actually really good players who now they hear a thought and all of a sudden something clicks and now they're battling against you and potentially, you know, taking money from, you know, or maybe not from you, maybe they won't play you, but maybe they'll be taking money from people that you might be staking, or it might be some of your friends. Whereas before, those guys, you know, they would have gotten better, but they may have not learned what they learned from something on your site. You know, how do you feel about that? Or do you think that's an issue or a worry?
Oh, that's for sure an issue and a worry. You know, there's a problem there in that information is very valuable. And that's really why I think that what we're trying to do with this model makes a lot of sense, because I don't have to be like, hey guys, you know, welcome to Upswing. Let me send you my pre-flop ranges that I play at 5,100 versus sauce. You know, I don't have to do that. I don't have to send my, you know, I don't have to give like the explicit strategies that I'm going to be using, because I'm still trying to have a career. And I think, like, for me, unlike with most of the training sites, I mean, I guess Run It Once, the guys still do play high stakes, so I wouldn't say them. But, you know, some of the other training sites that are not as mainstream now, you know, like what Card Runners has kind of become, what like Deuces Cracked has become, what Ivy League or something, or does Ivy League still do? I think they. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a couple other smaller sites too, but basically there's like a bunch of sites that are trying to do coaching stuff, right? And there's like all the way from like the most legitimate one being Run It Once, all the way down to like, I don't know, I go on 2+2 and it says like there's a link at the top, best poker coaching, and I'm like, okay, and it's just like these random dudes who like, oh, like I made like 70K, like you should buy stuff for me. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. But the thing is this, like, we're really taking an angle where I don't think that we have to hurt ourselves while we do that, because yeah, if someone you know learns from us, they're going to become a better poker player. But for me, in the games I'm playing in, you know, like I know all of my opponents anyway, and they're not going to gain enough to beat me at high stakes. But if someone gets better at, you know, 1-2, 2-4, small to mid stakes, starts to play 3-6 or 5-10, that doesn't really hurt me, you know, because I'm still playing such higher stakes that, like, if anything, we're increasing some traffic in games that could feed into my games. So You know, I actually saw something. I thought this was pretty interesting. I'm not sure if you know who Joe Tall is, but I saw him posting. There was a thread on 2+2 where they were discussing, you know, why have all these coaching sites done this, right? And he took a really interesting stance, and I'm not saying that this is what I personally think. I just thought it was interesting. But he took a stance that over his tenure running one of, I forgot, I always get Deuces Cracked. I'm like with poker confused.
Deuces Cracked.
But with his tenure running Deuces Cracked, they had like 70,000 new subscribers or 70,000 people that like, I guess, signed up for their site or whatever. I forgot.
70,000?
I forgot what the exact term was.
I'm starting a training site. Fuck this, man.
Oh man, if you could only get in on one.
I'm doing a training site now.
Anyway,
70,000.
Anyway, something like that, but over 5 years, right? I don't want to like, I might be misquoting something, but it was something like that number. And his argument was this: he could see that a lot of them then did sign up for poker sites, and his argument was that poker training sites actually help the poker ecosystem by getting people that otherwise might not play excited about poker to deposit and play. And yeah, they're more likely to become winners than the standard player pool because they're learning. But at the same time, when you put a massive amount of people into something, you're going to have a very wide spectrum of everything. And the average player there is still going to be, you know, not that strong. So, you know, it could be that at the elite level, you know, like for example, if someone is like a really good 5100 reg and then makes a video of them playing 5100 and talking about it and releases that, I think that's pretty bad, because you're really doing yourself a disservice. And even if you're like helping, you know, your customers, which I can totally respect, like I want to make my products as good for my customers as I can. The problem is you're hurting yourself by releasing exactly what you're doing at these stakes. So there is a middle ground here where you can teach fundamentally sound poker and how to think about poker without, you know, this is my range for doing something on the turn here against this guy because he's doing these things, and then that guy watches this, you know, and then makes some adjustments. So there's a line there, and I think it's a tough problem, but it's one that we're really going to work to try and overcome.
I mean, I don't know. If you take a look at you know, Fee's first couple streams on here,
yeah,
you know, he's given away some pretty. I gotta be honest. If I'm playing Nolan Hold'em right now, I'm one of the beggar regulars. I'm not very happy about this because now you have, you know, I'm not. I think Fees, you know, we can agree that he is a very, very, very good Nolan Hold'em poker mind. So now you have him giving out all this information for free on the Twitch stream. Now you have the site where you're going to be giving out all these ideas. Might not be exact, you know, how to do this, how to do that, but you're going to get all these ideas out to smart people. So if you're ahead of the curve at 2.5 Zoom or 5.10 or at 10.20, you know, I got to be, I can't be super happy about this change, but you know, at the same time, I guess you could argue that Rena Once has been putting out Nolan Hold'em content for a while as well too. So, but I think this is going to be geared a little bit differently.
Well, the thing is this, man, like at the end of the day, you know, if you're anyone that's winning in poker and someone else is giving information to help other people win at poker, it's bad for you, you know, but that's also sort of a selfish viewpoint, I think, because it's like, well, it's bad for me, so, you know, like this shouldn't be happening. And like, you know, in the same way, I am also trying to start a company here to make money off of training people. But the thing is, like, poker is what it is, and like people are going to get better. One day computers are going to be a lot better than humans. And so like you can't really just be like, oh, let's just like hide and pretend that like poker coaching can just go away and that like no one will get any better and the games aren't going to get tougher. Like that's just not the way that it works. It's like kind of like, you know what, it's kind of like, I don't like it when sites create policies, you know, or maybe even more than sites, but like governments create policies that like they can't possibly enforce. It's like, why may have these policies to begin with if you can't enforce them, right? So with like poker coaching, let's say you don't make a poker coaching site. Then like what happens is like a few different things can happen. Someone else could make one. There could be private coaching. You know, people could coach on Twitch. There's so many different areas that people could get poker coaching, that just trying to take like a stance of, oh, I don't like it and it makes things worse for me, so like we're not going to do it and I don't want to be associated with it and this is bad for poker. you know, it might be bad for your specific games, but it's going to help a bunch of people, you know, like the people that are coming to us. And like, I'm like actually surprised, like we really have reached a lot of people, and this is just our first month where we're actually really selling products. We've reached a lot of people that have come to us, and it's like the feedback has been so positive. Like people are like, I just want you to let you know, like this was really great and it helped me a lot.
Well, no shit. You're one of the best fucking players. Of course, it's gonna fucking help.
Like,
no kidding. What do you think?
But the thing is, this man, like
no kidding.
I'm helping that guy, but that guy's paying me to do it. Whereas some other reg who plays mid-stakes is like, oh, I'm really angry Doug's doing this. I don't know, man. Like obviously my loyalty is to the people that are believing in my brand and coming to me for help, right?
So it's kind of like get above the stakes where this won't affect me, and then do it.
That's my strategy, at least, you know. But also, like, I think that's the strategy. To be frank, one of the things I always disliked about coaching sites is I felt like a lot of the time when I used to be, back in the day, I was playing a few 10-cent, 25-cent hands myself. And I always felt like whenever I would go somewhere and watch videos, it tended to be from people that were behind the curve. Like it wasn't people that were playing anymore or active. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Bang, bang. I agree. Okay.
I'm not saying that's 100% the case. There are tons of really great coaches out there right now who are still good players, you know, like Ben Solsky or Phil Galfond or whatever. I can't think of many more off the top of my head. But so essentially, like, there aren't many guys that are still playing high stakes that do coaching because, you know, it does hurt their games. And I think a lot of times coaches, like, they look at coaching like this, like, oh, man, I can't win anymore. It's time to do some coaching, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
There's so much of that. Yeah. And that's just bullshit. Like, when people are paying $300 an hour because some guy can show you a graph in 2012. I'm talking to you, Your Doom. No, but anyway, show you a graph in 2012 where like they crushed it, and like now they're just like couldn't even win today's games, and you're trying to coach someone that might even be better than you. What's going on here? This is just a scam, you know? So I think that like what I bring to the table is I can tell you that what we're doing is correct. I can tell you what the strategies that you're using should look like. And I can help people become better poker players, and like that's what makes us so great.
Shout out to people. We are live streaming this on Twitch and on YouTube. Shout out to the view bots out there. Whoever's moderating my chat, stop banning people for making view bot jokes.
What do you mean bots?
There's been an alleged scandal on Twitch with a young man named Gripst who allegedly has been using view bots to up his view count on Twitch artificially, and he went about it in literally the most un-GTO possible way if you're ever going to do something like that. So, you know, now they want him dead. People want this guy fucking dead. He used a bot to inflate his viewer count so that he'll be at the top of the Twitch poker section. Let's kill this guy. So now they want his head, and now it's where we're at right now. This is a recent thing.
I guess I don't understand the Twitch world enough, and I'm learning more about it every day. Like, in the last 2 weeks, I learned so much just about Twitch and just like how it works, and I've watched some streams, and so I guess I don't really fully understand how grave of a mistake this was. But what exactly is the problem with doing that? I mean, it's like
you got to have a conversation with Jimmy Stapler about this. He knows. He's got the GTO. I don't fucking. I mean,
no, I'm just asking.
Fuck it, I'm gonna put view bots on every time I do it. They can make a post about me. You can do whatever they want to do. I don't care, man.
I guess like I just, if it's bad, let's not do it. But I want to understand why it's so bad. Is it because like
they'll tell you. There's a thread. Go read. I don't know the specifics. I'm not familiar with the specifics on why. I think he's taken away viewers from legitimate, hardworking streamers. You know, I don't know, man. It's
all right.
It's something. I want to give a shout to debatably one of the best heads up no one players in the world in the chat right now, Dan Murr, who doesn't want to come on the podcast right now because he's scared, and his boyfriend Mirko Claudio in the chat. Shout out to you guys. What's going on? Welcome to the stream today, guys. Appreciate you coming in. We got a bunch of other regulars out there in the chat. Tim F, what's up, puppy? Ace Equitality.
Dan Murr, you're listening right now. 5,100 no limit. I got to get my money back. What up?
What happened? He beat you for some money?
He got me.
He beat the best, huh?
He took a swing and it connected.
So what, you trying to give him the old rope-a-dope? Now make him beat you at 10-20, and then he goes and plays you at 51?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think we'll play a little bit. It really sucks, these stars changes. Although not, I know you have like a schedule here. Is that on the schedule?
Actually, Doug, perfect segue. Let's talk about the stars rake changes. Recently,
Right?
Pokerstars made some rake changes. Now they changed the rake cap at Heads Up Poker from 50 cents to $1.50, which, if you understand anything about numbers or math, that's a lot of extra money they're not going to be raking from the Heads Up games.
So I'm pretty sure, and like it's one of those things where I've like, all right, Doug, you're gonna do the math today. Oh, Doug, all right, Doug, you're gonna do the math today, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do it, because like I briefly looked at the numbers of like what these rake increases are gonna look like in terms of like win rate, and I don't believe smaller to mid stakes is gonna be beatable. I don't believe it will be. I think that somewhere around 5-10, maybe some really good 2-5, but probably somewhere around 5-10, it's gonna be like a little beatable, and then 10-20 plus is still gonna be beatable, with like 50-100, obviously being quite beatable. But the thing that I think scares me the most about those changes is that this absolutely kills people that are trying to move up. Like, you aren't going to be able to do that anymore, because you just can't win. The rake is insane. I've looked at some of these numbers, by the way, in like the very small stakes heads up tables. The rake was already ridiculous as a percentage in those games. Like the NL 50 rake was like 10 or 12 BB per 100 or something. I don't have the exact numbers, but it was like huge, and like 100 NL had still a huge rake. Like those limits, they're extremely soft, so they're definitely beatable, but you had to overcome like quite the obstacle in order to be winning in those just from the rake. That's gonna like the NL 100 rake is gonna like double almost. It went from 50 cents to $1. You're gonna have to overcome like 13 or 14 BB per 100 rake at NL 100. And if my numbers are wrong, guys, like I haven't like done the actual math yet. I'm just estimating. So, how are you supposed to move up in the stakes like that? You can't.
But Doug, how else are they going to protect the recreational poker players from the predatory behavior happening on Pokerstars if they don't make this change? I don't understand.
If they can't ever win, I mean,
well, yeah, fuck it. That's not everybody win, baby. Listen, if the fun players can't win, fuck it, nobody's going to win. I like it. I mean, they're protecting the predatory nature of poker, I guess.
Wow, did you get a Stars sponsorship I didn't know about?
Yeah. My boy Baz put me on the fucking payroll right now, and I'm supposed to do damage control for this alleged insider trading scandal he got himself into. So that's what we're doing right now. So I'm the PR man. I'm the new Eric Holreiser put me as his #1 man for the PR department here for Stars. So
I tweeted the other day. I tweeted the other day, and I'm sure like some people have seen this, but I just like thought it was funny when I tweeted it, so I'm just gonna say it back. I tweeted like a hypothetical conversation between Stars and like the average, or like the consumers of Stars, being us poker players. Stars, high stakes pay so little rake. Let's remove rake back. Us, okay, well it is low rake. Stars, yeah, exactly. So let's 5x the rake, which is basically like exactly what Stars is doing here.
Water.
This is insane.
I agree. I agree.
Insane.
I mean, I think I mentioned this. No, good in the kitchen. In the kitchen, make it cold. Don't go in there. No, that water's not good, bro. Come on, dude. I got a new PA over here. 22 Angel Cool, aka Big Dog, aka Yardstick, aka Stallion, aka Little Bros in the house right now. So,
wow, that was a lot of AKAs.
The kid's got a lot of nicknames, man.
Damn.
Stallion,
that's a sweet nickname.
I know. Yardstick. I mean, come on. 16-year-old kid. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah,
Yardstick. I don't know about Yardstick.
He'll show if you want to see. He's like sewing it off to people. So
I don't know if I want to see.
I mean, it's I don't want to see it either. I'm trying to look at anything. But yeah, right. So
this sounds like some Chicago shit right here.
What do you want to say? What's up? You want to say what's up, bro? Yeah, talking to Mike. Say what's up.
Yo.
Hello.
Okay.
What's up?
Is it what you're looking for?
What?
Hello.
Talk regular. What are you doing? Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's your name?
Andrew.
All right. I heard you have a lot of nicknames.
Yeah,
Tell them your nicknames in Mexican, in Spanish or Mexican. Sorry, shout out to the Mexicans.
I'm good.
Tell them your nicknames. I just told them. Tell them.
Yeah,
Tell them the nicknames.
you already told me.
AKA Tutu Anduko, AKA Yardstick, AKA Stalliano. Tell them.
Me llamo Tuto Andruko. Me llamo Yardstick. How do you say Stallion? Yes, my friend.
I'm extremely confused what's going on now.
Shout out to Yardstick, man. Yardstick.
All right. What up, Yardstick?
Much love. You gonna be checking out Upswing Poker to learn poker?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Get the fuck out of here, man.
That's better than a no.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for the water, my friend. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir. That's my little bro right there. Tutu Andrew Cool. Hey, Yardstick. Thank you for. If you want to check him out, we've done a couple podcasts together on my YouTube channel too, as well.
He's got big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill.
Okay, no, I'm not saying that. It's not allowed. I can't say things like that. But anyway, so
let's get back onto some poker stuff. Let's do some poker stuff.
All right, so let's get back to the heads up changes. So I think I talked about this the other day with Timex. So Stars recently changed the heads up ecosystem. They made it King of the Hill, I believe, at the beginning of the year, sometime around then. And then all of a sudden they clicked a button and they decided to make it all Zoom randomly out of nowhere.
Yeah. So the King of the Hill changes were actually like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember how many years ago now, but I remember when they made it Zoom. I was talking with some people and they're like, "Oh, this is the end. It's over." And I was like, "This is the best thing that's ever happened to heads up." Okay, because it's going to increase volume massively for any good players because people want to be able to, people that are good can't play in the King of the Hill system because what happens is whoever the worst player is, they lose. Sorry, the worst player gets to play versus the people that want tables, and the better players don't get that opportunity, right? So I was like, this is going to be huge. And when Zoom came out, I looked at some of the guys, mainly people playing like that I work with that were playing like 2-4-3 or sorry 2-5, 5-10, 10-20, whatever. They were getting to play way more hands. It was a huge increase in volume. So, and they're winning, like they had a lot of good action. It was actually like, it was way too good to be true. It was too good to be true. I was just thinking like, this is just like probably the best thing that's happened in terms of what this does to the amount of volume that people are going to be able to play. And then like, I was debating even like writing an article about like how great this was for heads up, and then boom, you can't even play it. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm. How you feeling now, buddy? This has been your main. Obviously, you've been playing some heads up PLO, but I believe the rakes goes up there too. So
yeah,
how do you feel about this now? I mean, they gave you Zoom. They gave you this like any games that ever run stakes you want to play, you got to play in. You want to come back again? What's up?
Shout out to Raccoon. She's watching.
Your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Shout out to Carly.
Yeah.
She's watching?
Yeah.
Carl's. Okay. Shout out there. I'll tell her what's up.
What's up?
Okay. Okay. Tutu Andrew Cool, everybody. I lost the train of thought now. Yeah, but so you had it really good. You had Zoom. You'd be able to play any games you want, and now, but I mean, you can still, as you mentioned earlier, that above 510 is still going to be able to be beatable. So when those games do run, then you are going to be able to still play those games. It's just a little bit more rake to pay, I guess. Your win rate's cut down a little bit.
It's actually kind of a hard situation for guys that are like me or top people where you're probably still winning even with the rake increase because like it's only going to it's still going to be like a couple big blinds per 100 at like NL 5K at least. You're probably still winning, but it takes a lot of it and you're not getting any of that back in rake back. So I almost feel like it sets like a little bit of a dangerous precedent to be like, yeah, you guys can just like do whatever with the rake and like I'm going to keep playing because at the end of the day they do need some people to play or the games won't run. So I don't know, man. It's bad. There's no way around. This is bad. The question is how bad, and I think it's pretty bad.
So the 6 max, that rake is raising too at 6 max above 510, I believe, right?
I didn't really check the rake for 6 max. I was busy drinking away the sorrow from the heads up rake.
Well, listen, now you got the training site. Now you get 70,000 signups, Deuces Crack style, and bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. you'll be in the monies, huh?
But dude, it's not even about the money. Like heads up was like my thing, you know? Heads up was like who I was, or I mean, I'd like to say still who I am. But now it's like that's just not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah. It does kind of, I mean, obviously it sucks, you know, it's, I mean, other sites, they still have heads up poker though, correct?
Yeah, but man, like, okay, so like iPoker removed high stakes. Let me think about some of the other sites. Party Poker, it's up to like 510 or 1020, but
510.
Okay, 510. I mean, they removed high stakes basically.
888poker.com. What about that site?
They removed heads up.
Okay. ACR, WPN.
ACR, I've seen people battling. Like ACR is probably like the best one left, but it's not good. It's not good. This is extremely not good.
Yeah.
I mean, six max is still pretty alive and well, and like heads up will live on, especially for the people that are already playing higher stakes. But if stars so first off, stars actually their rake increase here is higher. Like I saw some charts and they're like our rake is still lower. Stars' rake is now higher for lower stakes, for heads up stakes. Maybe it's lower in six max or something, but in heads up, it's higher than a lot of the sites.
I don't know, Doug. Listen, I saw a graph put out in a press release by Pokerstars, and the graph allegedly told me that every other site had significantly higher rake than Pokerstars now does, from an average of 5 cent, 10 cent to 5.10.
And why would Pokerstars?
I shouldn't believe this? You're saying I shouldn't believe this? You're saying this graph's wrong?
I would be wary of believing almost anything the Pokerstars is saying. I'm not saying.
No, man. They seem like they're honest. I mean, there's the CEO just got charged with 5 counts of insider trading. I mean, you're not believing a press release from that company?
It's tough too, because like I'm going to stream today and I'm going to do it on stars, but like I don't feel good about that, you know?
Yeah. Why not choose another site then? I mean, let's be honest. The other sites aren't necessarily like that. They're not. I don't understand why the other sites don't do more. You know, they could have done more. I feel like the other sites could be doing more. They could be doing more with I don't exactly know what the problem is. I don't know honestly,
if I had like a lot more money, I would just probably start a poker site. Just because I feel like so many people are just doing it wrong. Like the reason stars became so big was because they made a lot of good decisions that they're not making now, you know?
Right.
And like I feel that because there's not any serious competition like kind of coming up or like forcing these sites to make better decisions for like the players, they just kind of do whatever they want, and then you know this kind of stuff happens, and it's just not fair. It's just not. It's really not fair.
It's business. This is business, Doug. They can do what they want. It's their company. They got shareholders to answer to. What do you mean?
But the thing is,
like, fair in business.
The thing is, like people used to have like an option of like places they could go that were fair to play on, and now they just like don't really. And I think that like there's definitely a market right now where a poker site could come up and like capture a lot of those people, and just try and have like fair policies that are like clear in what they're going to do, and not just like pull the rug out from under people after like SNE grinding. That was really messed up.
Well, yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, surprise guys, not going to have SNE next year after like people worked all year for that. That's like that really still strikes me as illegal. Like I feel like that should be not. I don't know. They're just not being run like a fair company. So
I think the argument that's always made, I see Matt in the chat making it now. So people always argue, well, if all regulars went and made a site, it would only be regs in the site. It wouldn't be any fun players, if any games wouldn't run. I mean, I completely disagree, because if you're marketing the site, if you're getting the site out there, you're going to get a lot of other players that aren't just winning regulars on the site. The site's going to contain both types of players if you do it right. But
right,
you know what? So I mean, you saw my boy Alex Dreyfus. He got the alleged Chinese investors to support his venture into making something in poker. You know, wouldn't that be something that, you know, maybe somebody like yourself or potentially other people out there could find investors for that type of project or that type of thing too?
Well, I've got my hands full trying to like play poker and work in poker and starting Upswing Poker, but you know, like I would for sure be open to trying to see if that's an option, or if I could find the people to work with. But you know, I'm also like, I want to be honest in like what my strengths and my abilities are, and I think my strengths are obviously playing poker, but I also really like being part of you know, the promotion of poker and like helping poker try and become bigger. And I like talking and working with people, but I'm not like the guy who's going to be like, okay, if I can get X capital, then I can do, first I'll do this series of steps to make the site, and you need these things. Like, you know, I'm not knowledgeable in that regard. I'm not saying I can't become knowledgeable, but that has to be like, I need the right people, not just money. It's not just money to get it done, you know? So, I mean, like, I would love to say one day I might start a poker site. I don't know if I ever would, but I do think right now there's a market for a site that could offer competitive rake. And when people say the fun players won't play, I'm not sure that I buy that like at all. If you advertise effectively, like you're gonna find people, you know. It doesn't have to be like, hey, come play with all the regs here, you know. Then that would just be called ACR. No, I'm just kidding. But Joey, I played.
Hey, I mean, that's true. I mean, that's pretty true, though. Let's be honest.
Joey, I played some NL50. I was making some content for the lab on Upswing, and I played some NL50 and some NL100, just like some play and explain. And I was like, dude, I was playing NL50, and it was like 5 regs and me, you know, and like everyone was playing like pretty reasonable. Like you wouldn't find that on Stars, you know. So I guess that's like the trade-off. Like there would be more regs on a site that lowered rake. But here's the other thing. You can do so much as a site to try and promote your product that I think that if a site coming up is trying to have lower rake, they need to advertise that to the recreational players. And like something that I kind of don't like is that people talk about recreational players. They say, well, they don't care what the rake is because they're losing. That's like, I don't think that's true. I mean, I think it's true to some extent, but it's not like I'm like, you know, I think a lot of recreational players are smart people and they still understand like what house edge is, you know, or house take. And if you can play somewhere where you're getting like a lot more of your money back than somewhere else, then, you know, you have like there's a reasonable competitive advantage there. So the reason Stars is doing these changes is because they can justify it by being like, oh, you guys, look at our competitors. Their rake is like way higher than ours. But they're just doing that to justify themselves. If there was a major player that came in and like undercut them, then what are they going to have to do? You know, they're going to have to find a way to compete. And
this supports my theory I've had for a long time, which is whatever the parent company is of Stars owns all the other poker sites. They own them. I mean, that's obviously not true, but they own a majority of the poker sites, and it's all a fucking collusion to keep the rake high. Maybe. Is that illegal too? Is that illegal? Can you do that?
I mean, it's definitely, I mean, you can do whatever you want in poker, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't see why that wouldn't be legal. I mean, you would own a monopoly, but I don't think this is something that like is controlled by the feds, you know?
Yeah. Ivan in the chat, puppy, let's party. Hey, Jode, tu madre, habamos, say alagodope. I can't say that. I can't say the rest of that. What's up, Ivan? What's going on, kid? My boy CG, Chris George in the chat. Shout out to Dog Pork. What up, CG puppy?
What's
going on, buddy? I saw a question earlier I actually wanted to ask you about. It's a good question. I can respect this question a lot. Hold on. Let me find this. Flippy Dippy says, how does the umpire decide who gets the Zoom pool if 2 of them want to grind?
That's actually a good question.
I'm kind of curious.
I don't think that's really come up too much right now because we have like a pretty different mix of stakes.
Who's in the Empire these days, buddy?
I should probably know this. You know how it is, Joey. I can only give you so much information, but we of course have the standard people. We got Cheat, we got Dong, we got Jimmy, we got JMO, we got Fees. You know, the classic lineup.
We got Jason Les. Shout out to Jay Les in the chat. What up, Jay?
Jay Les
out there in the house. You got
I love that the Empire has Jason Les and Jason Mo. That's great. That is great.
Okay. So you got Jay Les, you got Pandora, you got J Mo, you got Fee, you got.
Who's Pandora?
Who the fuck is the Jimmy guy? I don't know who that is. Isn't that one guy?
That's for the Swarm.
I don't keep track of my Asian names these days. I don't know.
He won the Asian Championship.
I thought that was Pandora's Bucks.
No.
Oh, I've been thinking that guy's Pandora. I left a comment on his Facebook. I think I said he was Pandora. Oh, I'm not. Listen, man, I can't keep track with these guys. I don't know.
Would you say I just opened up Pandora's Bucks?
Oh boy, you're getting ready for Twitch already with these puns on these clips here. What was the one guy's name? What was the one fucking guy's name? The one guy got in trouble allegedly.
The one guy.
The guy. What the fuck was that guy's name? The guy. J Mo like outed him on the podcast allegedly. I thought he was in the Empire too. I don't remember the guy. I don't remember. But all right. So that's who's in the Empire. Is Danmer in the Empire? Is anyone else in the Empire these days?
I cannot confirm or deny people in the Empire, but I will say Danmer is not in the Empire.
What's up with this guy Danmer? Are you guys friends or something? You guys got like a really I sense like a really weird little vibe between the two of you guys when I see you guys communicate with each other.
We have a weird vibe.
He seems to be taking over the conversation here in high stakes thread. He's playing a lot. He's battling. He's posting 100K positive graphs, non-posting any 100K negative graphs, and keeping his posting graph range balance on social media like Facebook and Twitter. I just don't know what's happening with you two. What's going on with you two, man?
I've not really been around enough, but apparently he's playing high stakes now. Like when I left, he was mainly playing, I think 5, 10, 10, 20, and now he just seems like he's like battling like a ton of different shit. So he's like a new face in the high stakes arena. He's a pretty aggressive player. He plays, I would say, reasonably well. Definitely better than a lot of the other guys that are playing at higher stakes. I mean, he's got his own set of problems, but he's confident and he's brash, and like heads up NL is good. I actually like when people kind of come up and they have like that attitude, like I'm gonna win and I'm gonna like beat all these players and like you suck, and whatever. And maybe like when I was coming up, I wasn't as much like that. I was a little more brash like once I became the best. But it's definitely good to kind of psych people out and try and get in their head and try and make people think that you're good and then kind of become what you're trying to make them think you are. And, he's given action. Like if there's a good pool, he jumps in. We played a little 5,100 the other day. So I don't know. Like, I don't know his story. I don't know like where he came from. I just all I know is that he's playing some higher stakes heads up now.
I like Dammer. Kid's got a lot of heart. I know where he came from though. When we were first doing the pod, he was always in the chat, trolling the chat. He was like, he's playing 50 Cent Dollar. He's like, I'm gonna make it up there. I'm gonna make it up there. I'm like, yeah, I mean, everyone says that, whatever. But now he made it up there, man. He put in the work. He's got heart. He's battling out there in the streets, man. I got a lot of respect for that, man. I wish, I feel like you don't see that type of personality anymore. That type of personality in poker, those guys are they're all pretty busto now at this point in time. So you don't really see that brash personality exist anymore these days.
I agree with most of that. I dislike that. Okay, he's battling it out in the streets, but like selectively. Like in like good spots, which is that's whatever. But like it's not like he's just like I'll take on anyone, and then he's just playing everybody 5,100. He's picking his spots. So like it's not like he's like, all right, Doug, let's go 5,100, which would make the stream great, Danmer. So if you're here, like we should definitely do that. But it's not like he's doing that, which is smart. I mean, it's good to pick your opponents. The problem that I have a lot is like with his posts on 2+2 and stuff is like sometimes he just like lies or like doesn't like address points correctly. And like that always like tilted me on the forums just because it was like, dude, just like he would just like clearly ignore points people make. I like it's been so long I can't think of off the top of my head, but it's good for the game to have people like him moving up, and like that's not going to be able to happen with these new stars changes. So like if anything, Danmer is a testament to we need to make these rake changes lower. I mean the rake lower, so that one day I can play Danmer. That's really what this is all about.
What's the heads up no limit ecosystem rankings looking like these days? Everyone loves the heads up no limit rankings.
Good question. So let's see. You know what? I feel like I'm not involved enough.
Wow. What happened, bro?
I mean,
wow. Learning about this digital marketing and now you're not, now you don't even know like what the rankings are anymore.
Joey, like I could give you a list of 10 people, but I wouldn't feel good about it because I would be like kind of just like putting people places, which is funny because people make lists all the time with like way less information than me. And I look at their lists and I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Wait a second. You're telling me the list people give in high stakes and NVG isn't, those guys don't know, they shouldn't be, you sure? I feel like those guys have, they watch the games. They don't know what's happening.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, they do play a lot of 5,100 themselves, but I mean, no, it's I don't want to just like throw something out there just to like throw something out there. So I'm going to respectfully not give a list, but maybe I'll do a little research and I'll make a new one.
We got some questions here on Twitter I want to bring up to you. We got a couple good ones. My buddy Adam Schwartz from the 2+2 PokerCast says, how long does he think it would take him to be a mixed game beast if he started now?
Well, I actually do play mixed games. I've been playing like a decent amount of maybe not decent amount. I've been playing some, and in my limited play, it's gone really well. I played some 3K, 6K heads up at Bobby's room versus a couple people. I did pretty well there. I played in the big bet mix at Aria a couple times. That went well. I actually played like a decent chunk of 8-game heads up online last year. I didn't do as well there, but I think I won some. It's hard to know exactly how you did in that because of like tracking software and stuff not being there. But overall, like I would say I'm doing good. Like I would say that I'm doing fine there. Now it's just not really. I don't know if it's worth it to just like full blown just try and do only that, because it's like so much information to try and learn against people that have spent so much longer than me trying to learn it. But I'm sure if I like set my mind to it and I was like, all right, I'm going to become one of the best, if not the best, heads up mixed game player, I'm sure I could do it. It would just take me, a year or two or something. And like, I don't know if I have the heart for that anymore, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Who wants to win money at 3K, 6K heads up? I don't want that money. I understand. It's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, you got too much money, kid. Maybe you're not motivated or driven by money as you once were. Maybe you're not motivated and driven by being the best at a different game as you once were, at Nolm and Hold'em. You've kind of got there. You see what it's like up there. Kind of, it's not, it's a little boring. No one's playing you. It's not that fun, but.
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe
that sounds about right.
So would you say you're more like business entrepreneur orientated? I'm sorry, I tried to do my French entrepreneur pronunciation there. Would you say you're being more focused now in that direction? And that's sort of taken away from the desire or the motivation to maybe apply yourself to, I mean, you were in tournaments, poker for a while and stuff like that too.
Well, I'm still for starters, I still really do enjoy playing poker. So I want to keep playing in some capacity, whether that means like high stakes heads up PLO, or, some live cash or the occasional live tournament. I want to still be being involved. I want to still be involved in poker because like I want to always be trying to improve and become better at it. But then outside of that, like, yeah, I am trying to diversify more into like investing and being a businessman and like trying to like, move into other streams, because like I do feel like I've kind of accomplished most of like what I wanted to do with poker. So yeah, I'm just trying to like, I guess, spread my wings a bit.
I like that. What so I guess would you say, going forward here, do you feel like you spreading your wings a bit is going to take away from your ability at playing poker, and that at some point in time, the hungry guys who are focused only on poker are going to overtake the throne and become debatably number one at heads up no limit poker? Well,
the thing is that it would still just be debatable, right? So
very good. I agree.
And then I'd still be debatably the best. So
I mean, they're out there beating you, but I guess they don't play you to
look,
no.
I've long said this, like I am not going to be the best poker player for forever, or the best heads up player for forever. Like it's not like it's just like locked down, like the next decade's just all DP, like I'm gonna have a good run. Eventually some software will probably be better than me. Maybe some people will work hard and become better than me at heads up and L, but currently it doesn't look like there's any good prospects. But that day might come. I'm sure at some point, someone or something will be better than me, right? So this isn't just like I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna do a dirt challenge style, like I'll play anyone for like forever for like whatever stakes, because like you got to be honest with yourself. But like I've had a really good run, like for like how, look, when you look at heads up no limit, right? There's been a lot of turmoil in it. There's always been people kind of coming and going, and like Jungle was at the top for a bit, and like then it was like debatably Sauce, and then it might have been Jungle again, and Ike was kind of always up there. Maybe he was number one, and there was like a lot of like, there was a lot of different opinions, and people didn't really know. But if you think about the last like, what is this, 3 years of heads up no limit, 2.5 years of heads up no limit, there has been a really undisputable best player. And that's like, I mean, it is, dude. Like, it's not debatable. Like,
Sure,
okay, this is like how it is. And like, I don't think that that's something that Heads Up No Limit has like really ever seen. I don't think we've ever seen that. And part of what really cemented that was like the people that I worked with kind of became like numbers between 2 and 5 or 2 and 10 or whatever. And they kind of like, you know, because they have moved so far up as well, you have to go through a lot of stepping stones to even get to me, you know? So like, this is like the most supreme dominance of Heads Up No Limit ever by anyone, which is pretty cool. But now they're killing it, Joey. They're killing it. So
anyway, I thought you used a program to be good at Heads Up No Limit. The Dream Machine, is that not a thing?
Oh, is that a thing? Oh, yeah.
I thought that's how you and the Empire got good at Heads Up No Limit.
No, there's no Dream Machine.
Oh,
there's none.
I've been telling people you've been using a program at it. I didn't think you were doing it yourself. You're okay, all right. I'm sorry, I was confused for a second. I'm out of line today. I gotta be. Wait, have you played any live in Manila? Did you see Dur over there in the
Manila? When was I in Asia?
I don't know. Have you been over there? I know there's the Manila high stakes stuff, and I want to know if you've seen Dur. You mentioned Dur earlier. I want to know if you've seen him in any live games or anything like that.
No.
Are asking me where's Dur. You're gonna get Dur on the pod.
I don't know where Dur is. I haven't been in Asia. I told you I was in Vegas for like, you know, a few months, just like doing nothing.
I missed Dur, man. I watched a video last night of the classic Gus Hansen going crazy at the Poker Superstars, where he goes all in every single hand until it's like eliminated. It's like a point style, and you need to like win points. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is exactly why Gus Hansen lost $20 million at playing online PLO. This attitude right here to the game.
But like what he was doing in that, it actually made sense. Like his strategy made sense.
Well, I mean, it was like 25 big blinds effective or something like that. Like they started 6 and 25 big blinds. I'm like, what a 10, 20K blinds with a 300K stack. I'm like, this is real life.
Didn't he like bad beat Phil Hellmuth too?
Yeah, I was at Deuces versus Ace Jack, and Phil Hellmuth did a classic Phil Hellmuth and whatever sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was so great. The show's great. Like the promos, they show the guys' names. They're like, it's like Gus Hansen, and he's like shuffling cards, and like Freddie Deeb's like flashing aces with a smile. I'm like, what happened to this? Like, happened to the showmanship in poker? You know,
what? That's so true. Like poker needs more showmanship. I agree with that.
Those guys are busto though. It's they're the showmans have gone. It's the quiet guys now. The quiet guys who.
Gus Hansen's not busto.
Who?
Gus Hansen?
Well, I mean, he's not. I mean, I'm not making any allegations. Gus Hansen, busto. I'm saying a lot of those guys before that may have been the names. You know, they're not getting any sort of percentage from a poker site that may or may not have been doing things illegally. They're not. They're not. I don't know how else they got money back in the day. But it's just like people have gotten so much better now. And before, you didn't have to actually work hard to get good at poker or win at tournaments or to get a sponsorship deal. But now you actually debatably have to work hard to get good at poker. Yeah, so I think some people really never had that work ethic that were good. And now that they need to, it's hard to like find the work ethic when you never had it to start playing poker. Especially
when you don't know like what you need to work on. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to work really hard. I actually, this is so funny. I get PMs all the time. Hey Doug, so like I saw you like did this interview and you said that you worked really hard and like studied a lot. And like, that's cool, man. Like I really want to do that too. I want to be like you. What exactly did you work on? And I'm just like, I mean, good luck. I don't know, like, what do you want me to say? Like, my game? Like, a lot of people like don't know how to study or even what to study, which is like, I guess, like, probably a pretty common problem because there's so many conflicting things that you could work on. But I guess, like, you kind of have to decide, like, where you want to come from poker with. Are you going to go more math-based? Are you going to go more opponent-based? Are you going to go more try and create ranges for a bunch of spots-based? Are you going to go more like just try and get a little bit of everything in there based? Or, like you kind of have to decide what your style is going to be and then work towards that. You can't just be like, you got to figure out what works for you and what you want to do and then work towards that. So, and I know Dan was on the stream watching, so I can't tell you guys what you're supposed to work on, but those are my tips.
Furiously masturbating to the strategy you're giving away right now.
Oh man, furious.
I love Dammer though. Shout out to Dammer. I know. At least Ball Bucky says we need Sam Farha back on TV. We do need Sam Farha. I miss those high stakes poker with Sam Farha, Patrick, and man, I miss those shows, man.
Those were the days, apparently.
We were playing 10 cent, 25 cent, 50 cent dollar. I was losing.
Dude,
I was losing
crazy.
I was losing 50 buy-ins for you on a stake. You know, it's a great time to be alive for sure.
Great time to be backing. But dude, I still remember watching high stakes poker. I remember watching that Brad Booth Phil Ivey hand. That hand is just epic. You know, the one where like he has like the gut shot and Ivey has.
Wait, you're talking about the guy you gave money to?
Hold on, don't ruin my story.
Okay, I just want to hold on.
Don't ruin my story.
And now we're talking about this hand. Go ahead, defy. Go ahead. Okay.
All right, so for anyone that didn't see that hand, like Brad Booth, like Phil Ivey has kings, and like 4-bets pre, and like I think Brad Booth calls the 4-bet, and then like check jams like a low flop with like 6-3 suited, and it's like he has a gutter, right? And Ivey has kings, but they're like super deep. And like Ivey thinks about it for a long time, and it really had the feeling of like Ivey's gonna solo own somebody because like Ivey just like does that. Like he still does that, which like I don't get it. But anyway, it had the look of he's gonna solo own someone, and he lays down kings, and Brad wins the pot. But like the way he did it was he like took out 3 bricks of 100K and he like put them on the table, and like, you know, it was like a really baller like bluff, right? And I remember I was doing a trade with Brad Booth a few years ago, and he wanted to do 10K online for 10K live. And I sent him 10K and he gave me 10K cash, right? And I remember meeting him and being like, wow, this guy's like, you know, a guy that I've seen in these TV shows. Like he seems like this is someone I used to look up to. And then we did a 30K, or maybe it was the first one was 15. But anyway, then we did a 30K transfer and he sends me 30K. And then I show up and he's like, breaks down crying, I'm broke, I have nothing. And I'm just like, and then like a couple months later, he's like meeting me up to give me $700, right, of a payment for the debt. And we were at a gas station, and like this moment is actually like surreal to me. Like it's like this moment was just so surreal. We meet up at a gas station on Silverado Ranch and Las Vegas Boulevard. And for any people that don't really know Las Vegas very well, that's the corner where South Point is. Okay, and South Point was the host of that show, right? It was okay. High stakes poker at South Point. And we're just like in the gas station. He's giving me $600, and I just see South Point like the background as he's like giving me like 2% of the debt he owes me. And I'm just like, I can't believe that my life went this direction. Like it went from me sitting on my computer being like, whoa, to like me at the gas station being like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's like crazy like how life can change like that, you know?
I mean, I don't want to laugh at anyone's misfortunes or, you know, some irresponsible decisions they've made in their life to get to a point that they're at. But how has that payment been coming back for him to you?
He hasn't been making any payments for a little bit, but, you know, I'm sure he'll make payments when he can. I do think deep down he's a good guy. He just, you know, he made some mistakes, which, I mean, I don't forgive him for that. Like, he still owes me the money, and it's like fucked up that someone did that. But at the same time, like, I do believe that like he's gonna try to make it right when he has the opportunity to do so.
So he gave you the old transfer shuffle, huh? Where it's when you line up, when you plan a bigger transfer with a smaller transfer first. The classic transfer shuffle.
The transfer shuffle. I didn't know that had a name, but there you go.
I mean, that's like you build up your equity, you build up your credit, and then you boom, man, you get on it, man. Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. Yeah. You know, it's things happen. You know, have you learned a lesson from that? Have you been borrowing money or trading money with people since that point, or are you now saying no in those situations?
Well, I mean, like, you know, you have to do some degree of it, but now like it's good for me because in general, I can just be like, okay, like, you know, with the exception of like a small list of people that I know well, or that are extremely reputable from like, not just like I've seen them on TV, you know, like they own companies, they like, you know, basically like more reputable than just I saw this guy have 300K on him. You know, now I can just be like, okay, if you want this trade, you have to send me first. And like, I know like it's kind of a dick thing to say that because you're basically just being like, you know, I'm more legit than you, but like, I do feel that I'm like one of the most stand-up legit guys in the poker community. And like, I've done my job to help out people that have scammed me. I've done my job to like, you know, like even like in the beginners forum, man, like I made like a bunch of like, when I first went from 1 cent, 2 cent to like, you know, 10 cent, 25 cent, 50 cent, $1, I was like, wow, like I really could have used some help when I was starting, and I went into the beginners forum and I did a series of posts on how to help people that are at those stakes improve, you know? And like from like really the start, I've always like tried to work with people, tried to make good friendships, like try to treat people with respect. And now that like I've kind of come up through poker the whole way through and now I'm playing high stakes, I don't think I should have to send people first in any kind of transfer, because like I have such like a long record of like, you know, my behavior and my ethics and what I've done to where like I feel like if someone wants to do transfer with me, then they can just send me first. And that's like, you know, I'm lucky to have that, because like if you don't have that, then you're in a much more dicey situation. But that's much more my attitude now moving forward, when like, you know, shit can go down even with people that you don't think it will.
Like that. Okay. Let's talk about the Luke Schwartz comment he made on the podcast about you.
Oh, this is great.
So Owen says, did WCG ever respond to Luke Schwartz's story about him playing heads up when Doug made him play on webcam? Hilarious story by Luke. Would love to hear the other side of it. For those that don't know, when Luke Schwartz was on the Poker Lab podcast, he told a story about playing Doug, and Doug was wearing a pink vest, and Luke was very tilted by this for sure. So Doug, let's get your take on this story here.
I'm going to give you some bad news, Joey.
Okay.
There is no pink vest.
What do you mean?
There's no pink vest. I don't know. I don't know.
Why do you allege you were wearing a pink vest then?
I don't know. Do you think I own a pink vest?
You know a vest is a tank top, right?
A vest is a tank top?
Yeah, for fuck's sake. Yes, a vest is a tank top. The English people call it a tank top.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had like a workout shirt on. Yeah, my head just exploded.
I know. Crazy.
Okay, so
yeah.
I don't think I own a pink like article of clothing though. Maybe it was
on
like
the podcast last time with no shirt on, so I can see you owning a pink vest for sure.
Apparently, I don't even own enough clothing. No, I might have been wearing like an orange like workout shirt.
He might have perceived, maybe with the lighting situation, or he may have perceived it as pink.
Could have been, but I mean that whole thing was actually like pretty hilarious, because like I've never like webcam battled someone before, but like we were just playing like 300, 600 and just like both on webcam, like, and when he would lose, he would tilt really hard and like I can just see him and hear him. So it was like I was just like kind of laughing the whole time, but like he was like getting really like angry and like I don't know. It was like it was funny thinking about talking about this incident in the future, but during it was like kind of awkward, you know.
Well, I mean, I've been I just speaking on webcam. I've been playing on Pornhub. Poker's got this new like strip poker stakes where you play for money and you actually have to be on webcam. So I've been playing on there. I bet
you that's going to be a really popular game type.
I mean, it's pretty awkward for sure, but I mean, I can understand just like being. I mean, whatever. But so yeah, I definitely can understand what you mean by the awkwardness of it all. But I guess from that story, so did you hear the story he told? Like, I mean, how'd the story go? Like, how did it happen? Why were you on webcam? Why were you playing? Like, what was the? I think it was because there were some allegations that it may or may not have been you playing on an account, I believe, right?
You mean him?
Him, you, I mean, I don't know.
Allegations by me that, okay, well, like, I don't really want to, like, throw people's shit out there in this situation because it's, like, a lot more personal if I do that. But he was just playing, like, very different than what I'd seen him play, like, before. And, like, he played similar-ish to some people that, like, it seemed a little sketchy. That's all I'm saying. It seemed a little sketchy. And so, like, he, like, flipped out on me when I said it seemed sketchy. And, like, insisted we had a call. And then we went on call and played for a little while, and I won a bunch. And then we went off call, and then, like, I don't want to accuse people of stuff on stream. The whole thing seems a little bit sketchy to me.
So in retrospect, do you think it cleared up? Was he playing the same when you guys were playing on camera? Or what did the play style change? Or
it seemed like he played a little slower. It seemed a bit different, honestly. But he was like, I would never do this. I would never do this. And like, I'm like, these are things that people would say if they were like doing this. Like for example, like if someone was like, Doug, and this actually happened to me a lot when I was coming up in the stakes, people were like, it's jungle on your account. And I'd be like, it's not jungle on my account. I can like show you like when I was playing and when and jungle was playing simultaneously or whatever. And like eventually like I became like good enough and well known enough to where people weren't accusing me of that. And what also really helped me was like a lot of the guys I play, like Ike, Sauce, Kenu, there was like a thread where they came in and they said like, guys, this is definitely not jungle, because we play like pretty differently, I think. And where was I driving this? I was driving this at what I would do. Sorry. So like I would like show like when jungle was playing and I was playing like the timestamps or whatever, and I would try and like make my viewpoint. I wouldn't like flip the fuck out on people, which is just like that's like what people do. You know what it reminded me of actually? It reminded me of when Joshua Tyler hacked all my computers. Remember this story, right?
Yeah, Joshua Tyler, when he was that staying at your place in Las Vegas, and he did something to the computers.
Yeah, he like hacked all my computers, and then yeah. So, when I figured out it was him, I called him or he called me. He saw a thread, a thread I put up, and he's like, "This is ridiculous. These are bullshit allegations. I did not do this. You gotta take it down right now. I did not do." It actually reminded me a lot of like how Luke Schwartz was acting, which is like kind of funny. But he was like flipping out on me, right? And then I was like, "Okay, okay, Josh. Here's what I'll do. If you think that, or if you didn't do this and you think that this is unfair, post in the thread and say like, I'm working with Doug to clear my name. I didn't do this." And I'll post in the thread saying, Josh gave me a call and we're going to take steps to see, to clear his name. But like, it is my opinion that it looks strongly that you did this. And so I want some information so that we can clear your name. He's like, okay, I'll do it, but you have to take the thread down right now. And I'm like, I'm not going to take the thread down right now, but I'll do that, And dude, honestly, Joey, if he's innocent, like I don't want to just have some innocent guy getting blamed for something he didn't do, Because like most of my evidence was circumstantial, but I had some evidence he didn't know about that like led me to believe more. I just simply can't talk about on stream or on this podcast. But anyway, so we hang up on the phone on that note, right? Like we're gonna work this out. We'll post in the thread. Let's clear your name. 2 seconds later, I look down. Joshua Tyler is calling me. I'm like, hello? He's like, actually, I won't do that. And I'm like, all right. Okay, you don't have to do that then. I mean, like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, if you didn't do it and you're not willing to even remotely try and prove that you didn't do this, when like you did a bunch of really suspicious shit and I'm like, I have some information that very much leads me to believe this is you, then like, I mean, you're not going to make this about me, like you hacked all my fucking computers. Like I lost money from you. You stole money from me and they're trying to make this my deal. Like, whatever. And what the thing is, the problem is, Joey, the problem is at like high stakes, like, and this actually, this goes back to something we were talking about a little bit earlier. But I actually kind of have a problem with almost even saying people aren't allowed to play on other people's accounts, which like, I've always played on my own account and that's the way that, people should play. But here's the problem. When stuff is completely unenforceable, what you're doing is you're like giving the people that are going to break the rules an edge. Because like, let's say I play someone and I have a long history with them and then someone else on the account, right? Then like I'm getting kind of screwed there because like my reads on like the way that they play these situations is very different. And how are you going to enforce that? How are you going to enforce that's one player on that account? You can't, right?
Seems pretty hard to enforce for sure.
So you can't enforce it. So why make rules that are not enforceable? I don't understand that.
So you're saying in this scenario, anyone should be able to play on anyone's account? Yeah,
but not because, I mean, you should like, I mean, the truth is everyone knows that you have to play on your own account, but then like a bunch of people, and I'm talking to you, Harrington, a bunch of people just play on other accounts or like random accounts or switch accounts with people because what can you do about it? So why even have the rule be you have to play on one account, I don't know. I don't think it makes sense.
We got an interesting comment in the chat from Ekshesh Bitakeli. He says, Joey, Polk doesn't look that smart. Weird. Seems like a guy who would 4-bet just for the sake of it.
What?
I mean, you don't look like you don't. I couldn't see where he's coming from.
Oh,
dude. I mean, listen, you've had them out going on here for fucking 7 years now, kid. I mean, hey, you look like the kind of guy that would 4-bet for the sake of 4-betting. Kind of like, I mean,
I don't even know what that means.
I mean, I don't know what I mean.
Proving how not smart I am.
You got to ask Ekshesh Kelly about it, man. So
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Nano Note goes in the chat. What's up, Nano Puppy? He says drinks Perrier. I like this guy.
What's up, Nano?
Shout out to Nano out there. Nano, I think. Are you going to be a wild card for? Speaking of Nano, are you going to be one of the wild cards for the GPL coming up, the Global Poker League? Doug?
No, I'm not doing anything Global Poker League related.
Why not? You don't want to? You don't? No, not no.
I mean, now I'm kind of doing it just so like I can promote Upswing, and me as a player. But like, have you actually looked at what you have to do and what you get paid for it?
I've read a little bit about the contract, but I haven't dug too deep into it. Most people say, from what I've heard from people, most people say it's a pretty standard contract, standard agreement that is pretty customary in situations like this.
I mean, the pay for the hours you work just isn't very good. Is really the bottom line. I don't know. I didn't like. I have a lot on my plate. I'm doing a lot of things. And I didn't want to take on like it's a lot of hours too. Like the amount you're gonna have to play. Maybe I'll do it anyway, just to like kind of promote me and my brand. But you
have to be approached to be a wild card though. So if someone has someone been in touch with you, if any of the Chris Moneymaker is the Vegas guy. He's running that show.
No one's approached me, but like I'm sure like if I was like, hey, like I want to be on your team and like I'm gonna give this my best, like I feel like somebody would pick me up. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, listen, you think you're good in this type of format? It's good. So there's gonna be heads up competitions. Okay.
No, I'm not good at this format.
There's gonna be 6max online. There's gonna be heads up and there's gonna be 6max competitions. Are you sure you feel like you're gonna have an edge in this type of format?
Yes.
Yeah, I could see some.
I'm gonna go with yes.
I don't know. I mean, some of the guys picked up. I'm not sure if they're necessarily thinking about this quality though. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it to start. It starts April 5th. So you've been playing some heads up PLO lately too, right? You've been playing battling with Ansky. I believe you might have been getting the 1-2 Teddy from him a little bit. What's been happening with that, man? How's the heads up PLO been going for you?
I think I'm down like 60K in heads up PLO since I got to Vancouver. I only lost that much to Ansky. I lost like 15 or something. But yeah, like I actually think Ansky plays pretty good. Like I like some of what he does. Some things I don't agree with, but I think overall, like I was saying this to him actually, I think we actually played like a little bit similar, more so than a lot of guys that I play against. So it's interesting playing against him because it's some of he faces when. This is going to be a weird thing to say to people, but he faces some of the problems that I face in our strategies, and that sounds weird, but like neither one of us limp the button, which is like pretty rare out of all the PLO players. So yeah, it's cool. I'll probably play him a few more times. I'm not just gonna like get lit up for just infinite PLO money though. Like I'm cool losing like 100 or 150K or something before like these regs can just enjoy my money and I'm gonna leave. But late last year, I won a decent amount off of FUTech right at the end of the year to kind of like break near even on the year in PLO. Even though I won like a ton of buy-ins because I won like a lot at 25.50 and then just got like clobbered at 100, 200. So yeah, I mean like I enjoy it. It's fun. I'm just not as good at it.
It's so much more fun than Nolan Hold'em. You have 4 cards.
Yeah, and you can bet like whatever you want in that game, right?
The most you can raise or bet or raise is the size of the pot, I believe. There's a lot of action. It's a great game. You don't think so?
No, we should put limits on what you can bet. That seems like a good way to play. I mean, and it probably makes the game better. I dislike.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. There's no limit PLO as an option on ACR, and I got to tell you that's not fun. Okay, nothing's fun about no limit PLO. It's not a fun game.
No, it's not. I don't like. I don't like how in PLO sometimes like one person just gets totally fucked. That just happens like so much.
What do you mean?
One person's just like they just get fucked. Like you have a situation where you like bet 2 streets and you bet pot in the big one, and then the river like pairs the board. Well, or maybe makes a straight, or like there's a bunch of spots where like someone's range just gets like really fucked, and like. I don't know. Like you can't even value bet fucking aces. What's that bullshit? Like the joy of aces is just like not even that hat. You're like, oh, I'm gonna 3-bet and then like probably get a bad flop.
Well, if it wasn't like
In
that,
No Limit, you're like,
No
holy
Limit
shit,
Texas
I
Hold'em.
have aces.
Listen, aces at PL, you gotta be putting 3 and 4 and 5 bets in with aces. Any aces at PL. Let me give you some tips out there right now, guys. You got aces.
I know, but I'm not. It's not the same. You're not like, holy shit, I have the aces. You're like, oh great, I have the aces, and like, I don't know. It's just not the same, man.
Yeah. It's a great. I mean, I can't agree with that. It's a great game, man. So, what do you think about who you think's the best player in the any heads up PLO rankings for the people out there right now from your perspective?
Definitely not, but maybe in the near future I'll have some.
Okay. Let me read a couple Twitter comments I put up when I was coming back home from the gym. I put up, I need to take a shower. Someone please give me comments. So I got some comments here. Solo_dancing says, is it comfortable that I find him yum? Guy, obviously.
I'm sorry, we're talking about me here.
Is he comfortable that I find him yum? Yum capitalized.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that. That's kind of what I'm going for.
Okay.
Yes.
Another question here from Daniel at Lemish32 says, whoa.
What is this?
I mean, we kind of talked about. He says, "Where is Heads Up Poker going online with Stars Only Zoom now? Does Heads Up play well live or only in 10K WSOP event?"
Sorry. Say it again.
Where is Heads Up? See what I mean? I looked at.
All right, let's keep.
Where is Heads Up Poker going online with Stars Only Zoom now? We already talked about that. Does Heads Up play well live or only in 10K World Series of Poker event?
Oh, I think Heads Up Live is like awesome. I've played some pretty high stakes Heads Up Live matches. Like, me and Matt Kirk, we battled a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I heard about this.
We played a little Heads Up Live 501K PLO. I'm not gonna release any information about that.
I mean, if he was playing on the does he play PLO like he plays No Limit Hold'em? We saw him play on that super high roller cash game, which by the way was a really awesome show. Poker Central did. I really enjoyed that. Although you can actually watch it online without downloading the app, which fucking tilts the fuck out of me. But very well done show. Does he play PLO like he plays No Limit Hold'em?
He plays a lot better in PLO. Like he understands some things in PLO a lot.
I like him, man. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of him this summer in the World Series of Poker again.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, Matt like tilts a lot when he's losing. So like when he's winning, he plays a lot better than when he's losing. I think. Like I've played some sessions in the big bet mix game with Matt where like he's probably one of the better players, if not like there's one lineup where I'm like, man, Matt actually might just be crushing us here because he has a lot of experience in those games too. So. I don't know, like when he gets tilted and then he's playing full ring NL like a maniac, yeah, he's not going to be winning there. But on the high stakes poker, that probably showed some of like the worst of Matt, I would say. He was stuck huge and like playing way too loose, and like he's not really like a let's fold all our hands pre-flop kind of guy.
So that's probably why he could play PLO, because you don't have to fold. You have 4 cards, you don't have to fold anything really. Especially at live, it's so deep, you don't need to fold anything. Just call.
You know, he has like a cool thing going where like he plays really loose, and then he plays really aggressive post flop. So like there's a lot of situations where you're just like, I'm gonna have to double mat up here if he has it, you know. And like when someone has like 200 or 300K in front, or like you have 200 or 300K, and he's just like always covering you or whatever. I don't know. It's like you're gonna get totally fucked sometimes, like for sure, because like he's just gonna hit a good hand, and you're gonna be like, I can't fold to Matt Kirk, and then you're going to just pay him off. But the thing is, he will also bluff you. So, like, it's fun, man. Like, I like playing with Matt. Like, he's really good for the game.
Hopefully they don't raise the rake in the games that you're playing with him and kill that game too. So
I don't think those are going to be raised.
I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Bellagio isn't just raising their rake. You know, why not? I mean, whatever. Another conversation for another time.
Yeah, let's just like put that.
Why not just raise your? Why not? Why not? You know, hey, why not? Fuck it. Let's raise the rake. Why not? Let me see some other comments here on Kelly. I like Kelly Dunks. What up, puppy? Says any plan for him to play Stars, New Jersey?
No. Pretty simply no.
Okay.
Also, Joey, just so you have a heads up, I'm gonna have to end this in the near future here. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up in about 10 minutes here. What time are you streaming tonight? What time are you streaming tonight? What are the plans for your stream tonight? What are the plans for your stream in the future?
Okay, so I'm gonna be streaming in about 50 minutes, 4 p.m. PST. And my game plan is I put a poll up to let people vote on what they wanted me to play. Turns out people want me to play No Limit Cash.
Surprise.
Shocking. So I'm going to be playing probably some 1-2, maybe a little 2-5, some small to mid stakes stuff. We're going to try and have a good time. And I don't know. I'm excited. Like, I'm not totally sure exactly what I'm going to play or how long I'm going to stream. I'm going to kind of go with it and just do what I think is right. But I have to say, I'm like pretty excited. It's like it's going to be different.
Wait till you get a load of the Twitch chat. You're going to be real excited. You came hang out with those guys for sure, man.
Actually, I did do a lot of Twitch for the bot challenge where I had to like play that computer program for 10 hours a day.
Claudico.
What's up?
Claudico.
Yeah, Claudico.
Papi.
You get the accent there. Claudico. So I did that, and eventually they had it so I could talk with the Twitch chat while I was playing, because it was like, then they had to make sure that I was always faster than everybody because they could, mirror hands. I could see the hands, but it was actually like a lot of fun just to, like, chat with people. Like, I don't know, like I like find the questions interesting.
Well, you're kind of good with the troll. That's why you're like a good troll too. So when someone trolls you, you like give them you go like a quick-witted troll response back. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you need to be a little bit witty with these guys. I mean, yeah, I think yeah. I enjoy doing that sometimes too. Hey, you ask a dumb fucking question, you get a dumb fucking answer. So
you have to. But the thing is, you have to stay GTO. Like, you can't do it every time. You have to like mix in some serious trolls with your actual responses. Actually, on the 2+2 forums, I try and do that. Like, if I respond, I try and mix in like sarcastic sounding real comments with sarcastic sounding sarcastic comments.
That's what I do too. I do that all the time too.
Right?
I do that on the
right?
podcast.
It's just
I do that on the podcast all the time. So you never know. Like, when people, I'm like, I troll a lot. They're like, I don't think you troll. I'm like, no, I troll. I'm trolling all the time. Like tonight, I've trolled probably like 75 comments I've made tonight on the podcast today alone. So
that's when you know you're playing winning poker right there. Or winning strat, whatever you want to call it.
Are you going to be streaming on the Upswing Poker account?
It's going to be twitch.tv/Upswing Poker. Is where I'm going to be streaming.
Perfect. You think you're going to be like, how long, or do you think you're going to be able to overtake the Twitch powerhouses, the likes of Jay Carver or Jimmy Stapler or Tonka or Grips and the Viewbots? Like, how long do you think it's going to be for you to? How long do you think it's going to be for you to overtake powerhouses like that? Do you need me to throw on the Viewbot to get more? I'll bring however many you want. How many?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. You throw me the Viewbot. I'll throw you the Dream Machine. We get paid. What do you say?
Perfect. I'm in. Let's do it. I mean, that's fine. We'll get you. How many you want? You want 5,000 views tonight? I'll get you 5,000 people in there.
No. I don't know. Like, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be good at it or not. Like, I hope I am. I want to try and be entertaining, keep like a good energy level, answer people's questions, play some fun poker. I don't know. It depends. Like, if I get into it and I love it and I'm really good at it, like, I don't think it would be really naive to just say, like, I'm going to come in and be one of the top view streamers, because like a lot of the people that watch these guys, like, they're not like very avid. Like, Joey, people that watch your stream or your podcast are like hardcore. You have like the most hardcore users,
It's almost like that was by design.
Yeah, but
it's almost like it's intended to be that way, huh? Okay, I agree.
What I'm saying is, like, no one that watches all of your Poker Life podcasts, or I shouldn't say no one, but I think it's unlikely they're going to be watching like those streams, right? Because like they're not going to be that interesting if you know a lot about the world of poker. But what happens is Twitch hits a new demographic of people that are like, oh, poker's on Twitch. I'm going to watch poker. Yeah, and like, if some dude just clicks poker and sees, Jay Carver and me and Jamie Staples, like, I don't think that just means that I would be the one they pick. They're probably going to pick those guys because those guys have done this for a long time. They built up a really good following. They're going to be better at it than me. They're going to have like the rope. They're going to know what they're doing. And like, I hope that one day I can be amongst them, but I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes, and we'll have to see how I can adjust as I try and learn about it.
I mean, I think a good advice would be maybe make faces while you're playing. Like, when something happens, maybe make like a weird face that your audience can identify you with. Maybe come up with some specialized catchphrases, something like something like that your viewers can then put in the chat.
Something like "Papi."
Well, listen, that's not a fucking catchphrase. That's my life. Poppy's my. The things I use here, I use all the time in real life. Ask anyone that's ever communicated with me. I use GTO and Poppy all the time. But I can't imagine some of these. I mean, Elke uses So Sick all the time too. But I can't imagine like, some people are walking around, saying some of these fucking weird things they say. Let's get stacking. I can't imagine like, Grips is walking around with the robots behind him, and when he's out there and talking, let's get stacking to people. So like in general conversation. So.
Like I know that there is a lot of being energetic and kind of flamboyant, and so like I'm willing to try to be more energetic, to try and keep people interested. But I'm not gonna like just jump through hoops, Like I feel like me playing poker, explaining what's going on, talking with some people, making some jokes, and just having a good time is going to be enough here to not just be like, bazam! Just like trying to like jump out and just like,
bazam! I like that one. Hold on, let me do that one. Bazam! That's your first emoticon right there, Doug. Now you see, this is what I'm saying. You need to bazam! That's Doug, man. That's you.
Do I really want to be Doug Bazam Polk though? Is that
Doug Bazam Polk? You need a dog emoticon for dog pork. One of your nicknames on that I believe I may have accidentally contributed to. I apologize for dog pork. Maybe like a little dog. Maybe when something happens, you woof.
Joey, do you don't stream, right?
I mean, I stream the pod. I'm on Twitch now. Shout out to Twitch. We're on Twitch right now.
Oh, I didn't know we're on Twitch right now.
And we're on YouTube. It's dual streaming around here, man.
I thought we were just YouTube.
Nah, man.
Wow, man.
You're everyone out there, man.
Wow. You're so GTO.
For sure, man. You got to do both, but you need like a dog, woof, woof, something like that. When you win a big pot, maybe you put the woof on her, or when someone subscribes, like a woof sound, bazam, and then you like do the bazam at them.
This is good stuff.
I know, we're in the lab. Listen, man, I feel like if I was serious about Twitch, I know what you got to thank them, Doug. You got your thanking now when someone subscribes. Oh, Doug, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. Thank you so much for subscribing. You got to get that down when someone follows you. You need to give them a real fucking fake thank you for following you as well.
I don't want to give a real fake anything. I just want to give real things.
No, when other streamers come into the chat, you got to is that Nano Noko in the chat? What's up, Nano? Make sure you check out his channel. Nano Noko. You got to give these real over the top like slobbing of other people that are in the chat that are streamers. Yeah, I'm teaching you some GTO, kid. I'm not even.
I appreciate it. I should
be charging for this goddamn consultation I'm giving right now. Honest to God, you got to do things.
No, I'm learning. But it's also my first ever stream. I want to get some stuff down and learn about the process a bit.
But damn, I agree, man. Okay, so we're taking notes, guys. Anyone out there, you got to take notes. Be yourself. I mean, in theory, you can be yourself. I feel like, Doug, you have enough charisma, machismo to be yourself and be and do well. So a couple more Twitter questions here, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Sure.
Global Poker Truth. How soon does he think a bot can beat him heads up?
Interesting. I don't know, because I don't know what the state of the best bots are. But it would not surprise me if it was in the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years, I would say.
Okay. Actually, I was going to do a podcast with the Clarico Sam. I believe I was going to do one last summer, but then I started drinking every day in Vegas, and I sort of got away from the podcast. My life took a turn. Yeah. But I need to get him on the podcast, man. I got to reach out to him, and we got to get him on the pod. Big Badass Wolf says, don't forget you have to address other streamers as legends of the game. That's true. You got to do that. You got to, like I said, you got to slob off other streamers when they come in your chat for sure.
Okay, so everyone else that streams is a legend.
Yeah, and you need to join the Skype group where all the Twitch streamers are and slap everybody off in that group too and show them.
Well, I don't use Skype, so I'm not going to be joining.
Oh, well, then you don't got to worry about that one. I'm just saying, these are some tips for you, man. This is what you got to.
These are good tips.
This is what you need to do. I mean, you want to be GTO you got to listen. Guys, if you want to be successful on Twitch, go watch what everyone else is doing and just do that. Why be unique, or why do something on your own, or why not just
do something on your own?
Yeah, why? Fuck it. Let's do what everyone else does, man. Why not?
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, give me a couple more questions in the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat. Let's I get this whenever I play basketball for 3 hours and I start talking to people after that. I get so fired up and out of line. It's just it's It might be bipolar. I'm not sure. Let's see some comments in here. Create a training site for Twitch streamers, Poppy. I'm pretty sure I could do that. A Twitch consulary. Maybe consultant might be the better word for that. I'm not sure. I have to get Doug. He's been studying the dictionary. He used demographics a little bit ago, so I know he's been working hard in the lab to try to.
Oh man.
How long are you going to be in Vancouver for? When are you coming back to the States?
I'm going to be here until the Aria 300K, so like end of May.
Oh shit! Are you hanging out with anyone up there? You got any? You got a crew? You got a squad?
I'm here with my girlfriend Caitlin, and we got some friends in the mix. Dong's in and out. Jason Les in and out. So yeah, I got kind of a crew here.
Cool. Yeah, Big Dick Donger Kim's been.
Yes, Big Dick. Sorry, how did I refer to him as just Dong? That was actually pretty insulting on my part.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why you would ever call Donger Kim Dong Kim.
Yeah.
Did Pussy Love and Bertouche PLP? I noticed you might have ousted him from the Empire. He hasn't made any deep runs or final tables in the past 6 months. So is he out of the crew now? I mean, I know he was in Aussie. You made him in the crew last Australia.
No, PLP's in the mix. He's in the mix. He's lying low right now, but he's in the mix.
And he was in the background. He was in the lab in the background of the Timex podcast the other day. He was working on some Tinder simulations, I believe. For
simulations.
He's working on some.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got a couple more questions. We get anything good here? Let me see. Question. Thoughts on Jonathan's reign? What's up, puppy? He says thoughts on Bitcoin sites and Bitcoins in general for online gambling / long-term holding.
I think Bitcoin is good as long as it has 2FA, which I think is like really important for Bitcoin poker sites, which I don't know if they have them or not. I haven't been keeping up with the new one. What's the new one?
Okay.
There's a new one. I don't know it.
Litecoin?
No, the new site, poker site.
Oh,
what's the one that's not Seals with Clubs? They shut down, right?
I don't know. Seals with Club 2?
I think it has a good future, and I like what they're trying to do, but it does have a little bit of a dark side where you're secure. I feel like there's some security vulnerabilities, so I'm not totally sure. I like the idea though, and I definitely think it has a place in the future of poker.
Okay. Stefan says, question for Doug. I've looked into the lab on Upswing Poker, which is your product, and it seems like it's supposed to be used by microstakes guys. Well, I guess you already answered this question. As a 100 NL Stars reg, I found it pretty basic. Do you agree? You already answered that question at the beginning of the podcast. We got into that. But if you want to, another question about the lab is any chance of more detail about the lab sub on Upswing? Why don't you just talk a little bit more about what the lab is on Upswing?
Sure. So the lab is a step-by-step process where we take you from, wherever you're at with poker, or, if you're a new player, we're going to teach you a lot of like new concepts. And if you're a small stakes reg or something like that, we start off with the fundamentals, and that means like some really basic stuff, but like we want everyone to have that information so that they can kind of build from it. And then we go through pre-flop, some post-flop stuff, and then game elements. And then we also have like a couple play and explain videos of me and Fees. But the thing is like, yeah, like we start off like really basic because we want people to know like the terms we're going to use, how to use matrices, how to like look at ranges, like how to create a range, like what like the different categorizations of hands are like, and then we kind of build from there. So, I think I answered it early with like the goal of what we're trying to do. If you're trying to move from NL 100 to NL 200 on Stars, then you might really get out of our lab is that you have access to us on Facebook, and then you also might find the play and explain or some of like the post-flop modules interesting. But like, yeah, like you're going to know like pre-flop what your ranges should look like. You're going to understand like the big blind defense, about approximate range, how wide it is in the big blind. You're going to understand like how to play the small blind facing open. You're going to understand like most of the terminology. You're going to understand like how to use hand matrices. You're going to understand this stuff. But, as a coach with the demographic that we're targeting, which is mainly a lot of recreational players and new players and people that are starting to think about poker critically, I want to make sure that the tools are there for everyone to kind of get to the same place, so that we can all learn the post-flop stuff and the play and explain stuff modules, knowing the same information. So, I would say that if you're playing NL 100, it kind of depends where you're at. I think if you're looking for new information, that's like really advanced and like a lot of like solver type stuff, then this is not for you. If you're an NL100 reg and you just want to learn about poker and you have a couple questions that you want to ask us and like you want to brush up on your fundamentals and you want to like just like think about poker, you know, more strategically, then I would say this is for you. But you know, it depends what you're looking for. I guess I would say that's actually like a really awkward situation with like specifically people that are small stakes regs on like stars, where maybe their stuff's a little too basic, but there is some stuff there that will help you, and certainly having the ability to ask us questions will help you. So, you know, that's kind of your own call. Like you're going to have to decide, like, do I think that this is worth it? But, you know, from a lot of the people that have bought the lab, I can say that we've gotten a lot of really positive reviews. There was someone that bought our lab and then asked a question in the chat, and Fees, you know, gave a good response to it. And they're like, wow, just for that question alone, I'm so glad that I purchased this. So, you know, it's really up to you. We want to be really straightforward with what we're offering, and that's what's in the lab. So if you think that that sounds too simple for you, then, you know, this isn't targeted for you. But if you think you do want to brush up on these things, there are some post-flop elements. We do talk about how some hands change in different positions. And then the ability to ask us questions, then I think that that's exactly who we're looking for. Looking quiet over there.
You've been studying those salesmanship manuals, haven't you, Poppy?
Have I?
I don't know, man. You sounds like you've been in that lab, son. That's a good. Okay, I like it.
I mean, like I've actually been in our lab. So I don't know.
Hey, maybe I can do some Twitch streamers content strategy for the site too. Maybe I can show people out they want to be more GTO out there. I mean, listen, these guys on Twitch are fishing so hard. They got their custom. Oh, I forgot. You need a custom overlay too, in the same format as everyone else has as well. Make sure
I have a custom overlay.
Okay, good, perfect.
Yeah.
You're set. You're gonna need that as well too.
All
You're gonna need all that stuff. Okay, good. I think we got a lot of questions out there, guys. I'm not gonna be able to get to all the questions out there. I've seen some simple questions. I've seen some. The last one I'm going to say is Alan Whitfield says, question, is the biggest enemy of the evil empire the German high rollers or the other North American crew? There's another North American crew?
Are the German high rollers like an enemy of the evil empire?
I think at some point in time they may have been.
I would say it's the other North American crew.
Who's this other North American crew?
Oh, it's the Sauce, Dan Smith, Ike,
Hollywood, Puppy.
It's more of that crew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's probably the bigger enemy here, I suppose.
For sure.
All right. What else? So what's else?
So we got to wrap this up, bro. We got to wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. We got anything else to add, guys, in the chat? If you want to get in touch with Doug at Doug Polk Poker on Twitter, I think. Let me make sure that's right. That's right, right?
Yep, at Doug Polk Poker.
At Doug Polk Poker. He'll be streaming on Twitch later tonight in about 30 minutes on Upswing Poker. And you can check out his site, upswingpoker.com, if you have any more questions, comments. If you have any more questions about the site, if you have any questions for Doug, if you want to know how long he's had that hairstyle for, longer than 7 or 8 years, if that was an actual question, I just want to give him a quick answer. How long have you had that hairstyle for? Honest to God. You had it when I met you, like in 2007 or 8.
I think I first got it like this when I moved to Vegas like 7 years ago. So
don't you want to like change it? Just try something new. I mean, I like it too, but like maybe just something new for a short period of time. No, I mean,
nothing like jumps out at me is very good.
I mean, just to switch it up.
I mean, I don't like your hair right now.
Yo, I mean, first of all, I need to get it cut.
What is that? What am I looking at?
You're talking about I look like my boy Jeans, man. Come on. I mean, listen, I had this hairstyle for a long time.
Are you a Euro?
I feel Euro.
Yeah, you do.
You're
not a Euro.
I feel like I play PLM. I feel like I'm Euro for sure. So, all right, guys, that's it. We out of here, man. Your come-overs are getting old. Joey,
guys.
Is it a come-over? I guess it goes back. It's kind of not. Yeah, whatever. I see what you're saying. All right, guys, that's it. Adios. I'll be back next week, Monday, with Adam Small, who is a co-founder of Pocket Fives. Who I'm excited to talk with him. He's going to know business. I'm going to ask him about Upswing Poker, see what he thinks about the Upswing Poker business model in general, and he knows more about the business side of things than I do. So I'm going to ask him questions about stars and all that kind of stuff, Pocket Fives, some DFS stuff. And also Ryan Fee next week, I believe will be Wednesday. Ryan Fee, 2-time back-to-back winner of the Cage. And he's been streaming on Twitch, one of the best Nolan home players in the world. Also, next week, I'll probably be having David Paredes, a.k.a. Gaucho, on, who is the man and a friend of mine. And that's it. Adios, guys. I'm out. Peace out. Doug, thanks for joining in. And we'll see you later on Twitch, man.
See ya.
Peace out. Adios.